Hey there, I am Dee. Alison Noel's Evermore.
It's about a teenage girl with telepathic abilities who meets this new guy at school, falls head over heels for him instantly, but he allegedly carries around a secret.
Yeah, it basically rips off Twilight and True Blood, and since I'm a fan of neither, I'm in for a treat. It already begins with the cover. What's wrong with it? Well, nothing really. I mean, it kind of sets the tone for what we're to expect, but here it says The Immortals. Yeah, so it's part of a series, who'da thunk it. But in calling it that, and mentioning it on the cover, you've pretty much dug your own grave. Pun intended. Remember what I said earlier about how the boy allegedly carries around a secret? What I meant by that was that said boy turning out to be an immortal was supposed to be a twist. You know, a cover is supposed to make the audience want to read the novel, not spoil the ending for them. And I suppose it happens when they're reprinted. Guess who? Haven's warm, clammy hands press hard against my cheeks. Well, we know there's a narrator who has a close friend named Haven. She also has another friend called Miles, making this just another high school trio. Okay, that's enough. Enough! And even though my eyes are covered and closed, I know that her dyed black hair is parted in the middle, her black vinyl corset is worn over a turtleneck. Obviously someone who likes pain. I also know that her dad isn't really away on business, and like he said, her mom's personal trainer is more personal than trainer. Much like watermelon is more water than melon. But I don't know any of this from spying or peeking or even being told. I know because I'm psychic. Page 1. I'm a psychic. Noelle doesn't ease us in, doesn't wait a few pages so we can figure it out for ourselves. She pretty much spells it out for us. Exactly how stupid do you think your audience is, Miss Noelle? I wasn't always a freak. I used to be a normal teen. The kind that went to school dances, had celebrity crushes, and was so vain about my blonde hair that I wouldn't dream of scraping it back into a ponytail and hiding beneath a big hooded sweatshirt. Of course! When you're psychic, first thing you do is start wearing a hoodie. You know what, forget about it. Ever since the accident, the only thing I can clearly remember is dying. Why do people always turn into psychics after an accident? I mean, they get struck by a lightning or whatever, they have an NDE, and they always come back psychic. Why? I mean, why can't they just
sorta happened.
Yeah, exactly that. And then I heard someone say, Ever, is that your name? I'd make a joke about that name, but this book is already doing that for me. Don't follow me, Ever. Creepiest friendship ever. Ha! Get it? And it goes on. But rather than reading every single one of these jokes, why wouldn't I sum them all up at once? But according to Stacia Miller, sitting just 2 rows before me, Damon August is totally smoking hot. Her best friend Honor completely agrees. Wait. Haven? Ever? Honor? These aren't names, they're just everyday words. While you're at it, why not use these words as names? Hey, have you seen Movie lately? What movie? Movie Vanderbeek? Nah, haven't seen him, been too busy with Cookie. Oh yeah, she's delicious. You watch your mouth. Your mouth? Where's your mouth? Or why stop there? How about these?
Bottom squeeze my prick in somewhere though. Rigid fist up, bottom out. Tight for heaven's sake, leave your prick alone. Do suck me off nice and quick. Detention Saturday.
Plus, this is Damon August. Okay, Damon, you can take that empty seat in the back, right next to Ever.
Gee, a new guy at school. I'm sure no romance will happen. Also, there always just so happens to be an empty seat for the new student. Doesn't that make you wonder? Anyway, there just so happens to be an empty seat right next to the main character. Barely 10 pages in and it's one cliché after another. Here, just me, via not so subtle head tilts to look at Damon, who's standing behind him. And so I do. I mean, it's not like I can avoid it forever. You'd be surprised. I rarely look at people myself. Don't know why I felt the need to say that. And what I see leaves me unable to speak, blink, or move. But doesn't stop you from narrating? He mustn't be that big of a deal then. No color, no aura, no pulsing light show. Which should actually ring an alarm bell, but who cares? Insert your own joke here. And I definitely won't let on that I talk to my dead sister almost every day. Wham! Nice twist! But at the wrong moment. Yeah, I know there's a whole text preceding what I just read, but whether I read that to you or not, it won't make a difference. Because her mentioning that she sees her dead sister every day is just mentioned completely out of the blue. Get used to that sort of thing. I see dead people. Do I even have to make fun of that? But Saturday totally made up for it. I mean, it rocked. Where'd you go? I asked. This totally awesome club that some girl from my group took me to. This girl, Evangeline, she's like a hardcore case. She's what they call a donor. What who calls a donor? Miles asks. The vampires. I'm guessing this was supposed to be a way to mislead the audience into thinking there are vampires in this story. This might have worked, again, if it wasn't for the cover. Other than that, this book already feels like it's ripping off two well-known vampire franchises. This particular bit really doesn't help. Ever since I know. Ever since I became a psychic, I'm no longer required to study, but art is totally different, which is why my painting is pretty much the exact opposite of Damon's. I take another glance at his effortless, curving brushstrokes and add it to the never-ending list of things he's amazingly good at. Yes, remember that, girls. Only a guy who's good at pretty much everything, i.e. the type that doesn't exist, is good enough for you. Your life will be much sadder than mine, but who cares? This book goes on like this for a while, setting us up for this one major twist we already know anyway, using one cliché after another. You'd begin to wonder if there's a point to all this. You mortals, she pursed her lips. You're such fun to tease, such easy targets. Oh right, there's an actual villain in here. Now, how do you get rid of something that can't die? Apart from that. And that. Or that. Okay. So it's technically incorrect to call these people immortal. Still, you have to admit they always come up with some creative way to get rid of immortal. Even if they do make you scratch your heads every once in a while. So, how do they deal with the immortal villain here? So I close my eyes and think, I can't let her win, I can't let her win, not this time. And when I swing my fist toward her, my body so feeble, I'm surprised when it lands square in her chest. But when my head clears and my stomach calms, I open them again to find Drina staggering back towards the wall, clutching her chest, staring accusingly.
It's time for you to go, Pavarina.
Don't call me that! She wails. You know I hate that!
I know,
He says, squeezing my fingers as she shrivels and ages, then fades from our sight. A black silk dress and designer shoes, the only evidence she ever existed. That was anticlimactic. What just happened?
The body has 7 chakras. The 4th chakra, or heart chakra as it's sometimes called, is the center of unconditional love, compassion, and all the things Drina was lacking. Her lack of love is what killed her.
Love? Seriously? Love? Didn't it get any more cliche than this? I realize there's this whole chakra explanation, which frankly is barely an explanation anyway, but still boils down to the cliche. Since I actually want to live a little longer, why won't I let a friend of mine express how I feel about this? Thank you! The cliches aren't bad enough. Nor the fact that this is ripping off 2 vampire franchises, neither of which were any good to begin with. No, what makes this worse is the fact that this seems to be written by someone who doesn't take her audience very seriously. Now, I'm sure I wasn't the audience she was targeting, but the audience she is targeting is a lot smarter than she gives them credit for. And that's the #1 rule in this. Always assume your audience is smarter than you. This was D. I'm signing off.